So as a part of Restart program, actually AWS guys has asked me to go through with some basic content of Python at the same time installations. So first installation will be Anaconda along with Visual Code. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that was the first one. Second one will be if it is database, you guys has to install MySQL. That was the second they asked us, and the third one is how to write a scripts of Python. Okay, and fourth one is some basic of Python programming. Okay, so what is actually intention is basically. Yeah, it's okay. All right. So yeah, so I'll just list out the things, whatever they asked me. So let me complete the first installations. Okay, so they asked for a couple of installations. The one is okay. The second one is Visual Studio Code. Okay, and already you have created a cloud account for AWS, right? Okay, and the fourth one is for a DB aspect, MySQL. Okay, and okay, so these are the things they asked my for the purpose of installation. At the same time, usage. Once it is completed, again they'll come back through offline by the time. So they will just start with your AWS account. So first of all, I wanted to check with the Anaconda installation. Is everybody's finished this one? Yeah. So then have you installed the Visual Studio Code? Yeah. So once your installation is done, have you completed the AWS account creation? Yeah, if you are not installed, you can install now. That's okay. So we'll wait for that time. So, and for a DB aspect, you guys need to install the MySQL, which is also be an open source. I will just show you the website where you need to write, where you need to download. Okay. First, you go to a website of MySQL. Okay. So if you're not completed Anaconda, first you complete the Anaconda. Just you can just click on the first Anaconda download window, where you will be finding Anaconda distribution as this software. Okay. So you just go to this link and download the current version, what is required for you. Okay. So if it is 64-bit version, right now you have a 64-bit version is available. As I know that it is taking you some time, like around about 10 to 15 minutes time. So you just complete the download installation process, because what actually they are expecting is they wanted to use the two things here. Okay. The one is the Jupyter notebook. I have just given an introduction earlier. Okay. Even I'll give you the introduction now as well for how to use the Jupyter. Even they wanted to use a spider. These are the two things they are using for writing a Python script for AWS. Okay, means like it's not 100% of writing a Python program. It's writing a Python program and implementing that Python program into AWS cloud. Like for example, they wanted to create some S3 bucket. Okay, so to create the automation of S3 bucket, they required some basic programming skill, right? So that program is your Python. Okay, so you just need to write a simple script. Then you need to compile that on the AWS itself. Once you compile it, automatically the automation will be created, and you can save that script for the future reference. So today what I'm going to do is, if you're not aware of how to write the Jupyter, I'll just show you the Jupyter. If you're not aware of how to use the spider, I'll show you the spider as well. Okay. So these are the two things, whatever they asked me. Okay, then now Visual Studio Code. So like if they wanted to build more scripts, like a group of scripts in a one file. Okay. So let's say I have a folder which we have created earlier, right? Yeah. So here, if I wanted to open all these folders into one particular stuff, what I can do is I can just create a Visual Studio Code. Okay. So what you can do is go to a file and let's say open a new folder. I mean, open the folder. You can open this entire folder, so that what you can do is you will able to see all the files here. Okay. Why they are using this particular stuff is they required a version control. They require a version control. Here, the version control is inbuilt into the Visual Studio Code. This is a version control. So version control in the sense we are using a two different type of versions controls. One is Git and GitHub. So here Git is for the local storage, I mean local repository, whereas GitHub is your cloud repository. So this is the main reason why they are going for the, I mean to say Visual Studio Code. Okay. So like from here itself, you can configure your repository. Okay. And you can publish that into your Git repository. Okay. So I'll just show you that one simple repository, if possible, in today's session. And then I hope this is, I'm not sure how much you have completed because even I don't know how to do this stuff. So they just tell me or to do this. Okay. And then we have a MySQL. Okay. So this is MySQL is an open source stuff. So where we can probably use it for your local download. Okay. If you're not completed, I hope you have to do this as well. MySQL download. So let's probably you can use the right now 8.0 version of that. You can just use the installation and the workbench both. So there would be a downloads option where you can see that okay. So here you will be talking about this in the future. Okay, you'll talk about this particular one in a future. Okay, so how to integrate the MySQL database with the AWS cloud database. Okay, like so AWS is not only for one particular stuff, right? It can be used as a database service. It can be used as a storage service. It can be used as some different services, right? So this is the one service you guys are talking about this in the probably coming sessions. Okay, so that's the reason you need to download the MySQL community downloads option. Yeah, what you can do is MySQL community is not required, I guess. Yeah, you can just directly download for this MySQL installer for Windows, and the workbench will be this one. You download these two things. One is the installation for Windows, and the other one is for MySQL workbench. Okay, so this is the fourth one. Okay, the another one is writing a simple Python basic scripts. I'll just show you now. Okay, so whatever you have not finished, I want you to quickly finish all of this by the time I just get up the things ready. Okay, if you guys have not completed any of this, I want you to finish in this all 5 points. Okay, fifth point. Okay, I'll talk about the fifth point. Apart from that, you just talk about another 4 points. Okay. Yeah. So Like independent Python script is also required, and sometimes just general Python also. Okay, two things. I'll just show you one thing with the Jupyter and one thing with the normal Python. Okay, so I hope you have already downloaded this one as well, right? Go to python.org, and there would be a downloads. Even this is also required because they are working by the local Python scripts also. Like you just write a script and put this script into some other service, like bucket system or load balancer system, whatever you place it. So what you have to do is first you have to write the script into your local, and you have to write whatever the output you are getting from this script, you have to paste it into the bucketing system. So that will makes you the balancing load balancer. Hope you guys come across with the load balancer, right? Recent time. Have you understand about load balancing? No. Okay. Have you understand about the computer architecture? Why load balancer is required? Have you understand that? No. Okay. No, I'm not talking about with my session. I'm just talking about your AWS part. So might be they are explaining about your computer architecture, right? Like they'll talk about primary devices, they'll talk about secondary devices, and then they'll talk about different kind of a storage devices which is available. Why the cloud is required? What are the services offered by the cloud? These are the things you have discussed, right? So apart from that, they will add one more points to it. That is something called AWS load balancer as well. Like for example, for example, let's say I have this service. Let's say this is a cloud service you're talking, right? So let's assume that you have a data storage service, right? In this data storage service, you are running with one database. Let's say you're running with one database called MySQL. Yeah, so this is your database. Okay, so let's say I'll just write it in a simplest manner which you can understand. Okay, let's assume that your database service, this is your database DB service, and this is entirely AWS architecture. Let's say you have application server, you have a database server, or you have a like a pipeline server, whatever it is. Okay, everything is everything is included in the same, for example. Okay, so this is your DB service. Okay, and in the same structure you might have a application server also, right? Application server in the sense, let's say you have a web application, right? Some XYZ web application you are also running in the same service. Okay, so what it will do generally, this is your app server, this is your app server, and this app server generally connect with your DB, correct? Yeah, let's assume that this app server is connected with external world, right? So there would be a multiple clients will be connected to it, correct? This is your client one, client two, client, like multiple clients. Like some people will be used from web, some people will use from mobile, some people will use from tablet, or all the things. Okay, so that is where your API comes into exist. Right, this is your API service will comes into exist. API is also one of the server where they will be included in this itself. Okay, somewhere here they will include this one as well. Okay, so what will happen generally, each client will be any browser is a client. It might be a mobile browser, it might be a desktop browser, it might be a tablet browser or mobile application. Anything is your browser, anything is your client. Let's assume that I have around 1 million clients has access your application at the same point of time. 1 million users is trying to access my service or my application in the same architecture. What are the possibility to crash your application? What are the possibilities to trash? What I mean to say is the crashing of your application or crashing of your service. Is there any chance to crash your service? Let's assume that you are using, for example, a Google. Even 10 million users also you use it, it doesn't crash because the storage is more and more, and the service which is included here will follow the B-tree architecture. B-tree means binary tree. It's an algorithm. Yeah, it's a connected algorithm, right? So even Google also follow the same kind of algorithm, right? But I don't have that algorithm in my application server. So what will happen is entirely if 1 million users is trying to access my service at a time, automatically my service get loaded. Automatically there would be a database that is also will be get loaded. Then your response time is increases. Once your response time is increases, automatically the crashing of your application server or the AWS service will be more chances. What additionally they will do on the backend is they will include the load balancing concept. What is this load balancing concept do is there will be multiple databases available on the backend. One, let's say right now it is a 2 databases. If I include the load balancer concept, if I include this into my load balancing concept, if a users are increasing, same data is available in the both the servers right now, right? If I increase this load balancing size, this same application server will be included into multiple databases, so that instead of going to a request to the one database service, multiple databases request is coming, automatically it will goes under the pipeline, CDCI pipeline. You might be you will get this point in the future. That is something called CDCI pipeline. Yeah, even you can search in Google also, you will understand the importance of this. Okay, what is this pipeline concept does? It will put all the requests into the certain pipeline. I mean to say queue order, right? So automatically once the queue order is evaluated, your databases is 4 right now. Accordingly, your request is processed to the multiple. That's called a database. That's called a load balancing concept. Yeah, that is also one of the major concepts. To understand that, to write this concept, they required this script. Okay, what is this script to do is, it will just take a input how many servers are there. Means it will have a operating system module, will use this module, import OS. Okay, from this OS module, what we do is, we'll try to read the current database instances. ఈ మాడ్యూల్ నుంచి మనం ఏంటంటే కరెంట్ డేటాబేస్ ఇన్స్టెన్సెస్ కౌంట్ తీసుకుంటాం. ఓకే, ఈ కౌంట్ కి మనం లోడ్ బ్యాలెన్సింగ్ అప్లై చేస్తాం. ఓకే, కండిషన్స్ సింపుల్ ఇఫ్ కండిషన్స్ రాస్తాం. ఏంటి, ఒకవేళ 2 అయితే 4 చేయు, 4 అయితే 8 చేయు, 8 అయితే 16 చేయు. సింపుల్ as that. Every time just complete all of this stuff. Anything is pending? No, right? So yeah, so what the next point is, like, yeah, you heard, you try to write this points actually, like you go for this. Okay, so there are some points you guys need to know, because as a dev app and the AWS guy, you have to know about all this guys compulsory. Okay, and there is something called Zira. This is for ticketing purpose. Okay, and this is for Git, and GitHub is for version control. Okay, ఇవన్నీ తెలుసు ఉండాలి. Okay, ఫస్ట్ వచ్చేసి Git and GitHub is for the version control. Git is for the local one. అంటే మీ కరెంట్ సిస్టమ్ ఇప్పుడు లోకల్ రిపోజిటరీ ఉంటుంది కదా, రైట్? సో యూ మైట్ హర్డ్ అబౌట్ లోకల్ రిపోజిటరీ అండ్ రిమోట్ రిపోజిటరీ. Remote repository will be this one, right? And Git is your local repository. I'll tell you again what is the branches also. Okay, so for example, let's say I'm even talking about the branches now. Okay, okay, so right now I have one GitHub, which is the remote server. This is the main branch, right? So let's say this is one product, right? It's my project one. Every application will have some products, right? And this is generally, if it is in under the GitHub, right, it is under the main branch. Okay, so how many people we have right now here? We have a sound of 7, right? Including me, we have a sound of 7 people, correct? So what I wanted to do is like right, first person, right? First person like this, we have a 7 guys are working under the same product or same project. Okay, we are all working under the same project. Same, we are under working on the same project, correct? So I have a ticket number of, let's say, I'm working on the ticket number of 633202, right? This is one bug. Let's assume that, let's say, in my application a pop-up is not working. So they raise the ticket number is 63663302. So how to get this ticket numbers? You need to understand this one. Zira అంటే Zira అనేది ఒక ticketing tool which is basically available on the Google, and it's an open source. Most of the people are using right now Zira for a ticketing purpose and Git and GitHub for version control. Okay, so let's coming to this point. Okay, I'm just using the 63302 for one ticket and 63304 or 05 for something, and a couple of ఇలా ఉంది టికెట్స్, different ticket numbers, right? అన్నిటికీ కూడా మెయిన్ బ్రాంచ్ ఇదే. All of them is have a main branch is the same, but I wanted to create a new branch for my particular ticket, right? And I wanted to create one more ticket for this. I wanted to create one more ticket for this. Each of the ticket is different. So when you have to merge this into main branch, that is also be a question. Now development complete అయిపోయింది, testing కూడా complete అయిపోయింది. I have just passed it to the QA. QA is also passed. Then you need to raise the PR request. PR, that is something called request, project request. So that will be accepted by your project manager or else Scrum Master, some of your team. So appudu matrame you can merge this ticket into this main branch. Then only this ticket will goes into production. Production in the sense which is available for us to use it in the life. Okay, ఇలా ఉంటుంది బేసికల్ గా ఆర్కిటెక్చర్. యాజ్ a dev or AWS guy, you have to understand these things. Okay, so this is simple architecture, not much difficult, and as a AWS and DevOps guy, you will your job is very easy if you know the basic Python and database concept, right? The rest of the thing is muttam UI, drag and drop, clicks, all the stuff. Okay, not much difficult. Okay, I'll just show you simple GitHub stuff. Okay, I know you'll get to know all these things in the future as well. That's okay. So just I wanted to show you right now. Okay, for example, this is my one. Let's assume that this is my project. Right, we have all these files. So let's assume it. So ikkadiki velte under the actions, yeah, under the actions, you can just search for your working repository. Okay, so workflow control. Okay, so workflow control set cheste, it will directly ask for your things. ఇంకా నువ్వు డైరెక్ట్ లైవ్ చేసేసుకోవచ్చు దీన్ని. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ చూడండి, క్రియేట్ వైఫై అంటే ఇప్పుడు నాకేం ప్రాజెక్ట్ అసోసియేట్ లేదు కాబట్టి ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ జస్ట్ క్రియేట్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ అన్నాం అనుకోండి, ఇట్ విల్ ఆస్క్ యువర్ బ్రాంచ్ నేమ్. Once branch name is okay, then it will ask you which branch you need to merge. Main branch, finished. It's mottam, it's all depends on UI, not much. Only the thing is difficult for you in this course is this and this. Only these two concepts little difficult. ఒక్కసారి git and github అర్థమైంది అనుకోండి, you no need to look back. Right, there is a very basic things you have to understand. One is a local repo and the second one is a remote repo, and then you need to talk about branches. And the branches lo creating a branch anni vastai. Okay, next merge and conflicts. Conflicts అని ఇంకొక వర్డ్ ఉంటుంది. Why when this word comes into the picture, నేను చేసింది ఒకటే టికెట్, మీరు చేసింది కూడా ఒకటే టికెట్, మేమిద్దరం ఒకటే టికెట్ చేసాం. ఓకే, నేను చేసింది పాస్ అయింది, తను చేసింది పాస్ అయింది, బట్ ఎవరిది మర్జ్ చేయాలి లైవ్ లోకి? దెర్ ఈస్ అ వన్ థింగ్, బికాస్ ఐ డోంట్ నో దట్ హీస్ డూయింగ్, హీ డోంట్ నో దట్ ఐఎమ్ డూయింగ్ ఇట్. సో దెన్ వెన్ ఇట్ ఇస్ గోస్ టు ది లైవ్, దెర్ వుడ్ బి ఎ ఛాన్స్ దట్ ద సేమ్ కోడ్ ఇస్ కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్. సో ఆ కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్ ని ఎలా చేయాలి, దెన్ ఆ కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్ ని ఎలా రిజాల్వ్ చేయాలి, దెన్ ఎలా మర్జ్ చేయాలి, ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ తెలిస్తే మీకు దట్ ఈస్ ఎనఫ్ ఫర్ ది బిట్. గిట్ లో అంతే మొత్తం అదే ఉంటుంది, నథింగ్ మచ్ మోర్. ఓకే, ఆల్ రైట్, సో దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ మై పాయింట్.